Hello, today on this Completionaut video, we are going to bang through all of my top used EDC gear over the last 10 years in less than 30 seconds each. That'll include wallets, knives, multi-tools, pins, all sorts of stuff. So here we go, we're going to get started. First, we'll start with the wallet since they're already sitting here. Top 3 wallets I've used in the last 10 years would have to start with the Slim Clip. I carried this thing for years. You can get 2 of them for like 15 bucks. This is what started me on my slim wallet journey. And every now and then, I'm so tempted to go back to it. Although now I've found others that I just enjoy more. The second one is the Trayvax Ascent. This is probably my most carried wallet in the last 10 years. I love this mechanism for ejecting the cards. It's been super reliable. It can carry some cash. It's got the slide on the other side. Just a great super slim wallet. Fits easily in your pocket. The third one is a Trayvax Element. Great wallet. This was probably this was the wallet that made me a real believer in Trayvax. I had one of their fabric wallets before, but this was the one that once I got it and stretched it out to carry 10 cards, I started carrying it until I replaced it with another Trayvax wallet. Such a neat wallet. Really liked the design, carried all my cards. I could be a pack rat like I always wanted to. It had cash storage, got a bottle opener. You can't win them all. So let's move on to the next category. Let's talk about multi-tools real quick. So on the multi-tool front, there's 3 multi-tools that have kind of dominated my pocket the last 10 years. We have the Victorinox Swisstool, which I think the thing I really like about this tool isn't necessarily the tool use itself. It's that it's smooth, it's slim, it fits in pockets really well. I just really like that about this particular tool. The second one is the Leatherman Skeletool CX. This isn't my original one. My original one had to be shipped back to Leatherman after sitting outside all winter long and rusting pretty bad. So I shipped it back to Leatherman. They sent me a refurb. That's what this one is. Just lightweight, carries just basic tools, has a screwdriver and a set of pliers, kind of the essentials of what I want, and a knife. Really good, like it, good stuff. So the third one here is a Leatherman Charged Titanium. I can't say that this is actually my favorite Leatherman because I carry it because it has all the functionality, but it's not, I'm not in love with this Leatherman. It's just the Leatherman I most often carry, just happens to be. For the functions I use, the Wave is probably just as good of a fit and a little bit thinner, but anytime I reach into the drawer, if it'll fit into my pocket or the holder I'm using, this is the one I grab. So that's it for multi-tools right now. I do have an honorable mention in this area, which is the Leatherman Squirt. I have stuck this Leatherman in my pocket for many years, and it used to ride around on my keychain. Anytime I don't have room for a regular multi-tool, I tend to reach for this thing rather than like a Juice or a slightly larger Leatherman. Really like it. It does the job. So let's move on. Let's talk about knives next. The knives we have here is the Benchmade Outlast, the Benchmade 940, and the Kizer Sheepdog. The weird part about this is I can't say that the Benchmades are my favorite knives. They're just the ones I gravitate toward other than the Sheepdog. I have many other much fancier and neater looking knives, but these ones just fit the need. So let's talk about them real quick. The 940. I was on the fence whether I would like the 940. I think I picked this up in an REI sale for 20% off or 25% off at some point. I started carrying it and I realized that the profile of this knife is so nice in the pocket. That's my favorite thing about it. The next one on my list is the Outlast. I got this one on some sort of discount or sale. It has the serrated blade. It has the straight blade. This one, unlike the rest of the Benchmades, has an option lock, so you can't just fling it open like most Benchmades. I would prefer to be able to fling it open, but with 2 blades, that has limited value. It has this glass breaker, which I've coated with nail polish in order to try to keep it from tearing other things up as it rubs against them. Mostly I use that one during camping season. Kizer Knives Sheepdog. I like this knife so much, I have multiple of them. In case you haven't noticed, I'm left-handed. And this comes in a left-handed version, and it is just, I love the design. I like how it looks. I love how I can grab it. Really neat little knife. So I've bought it multiple times. So that's it for knives. Those are the knives that I most carried in the last 10 years. Going down the list, we have flashlights. So if we look at our flashlights for just a minute, we have the Olight Arkfeld, which is a fairly new light. I think I got this one around September-ish of last year. The Reylight Pineapple, which is probably the most carried light I've had. And then the Olight i3T. I just carry this flashlight anytime I have a need for a flashlight, but I don't have enough room for a bigger flashlight. I carry much bigger flashlights, but all three of these lights have done good. I think the Reylight out of this group is one of my favorites, and I think that's largely because it has a natural color profile on the bulb, and it just makes it easier to look at and use over the long term. But either way, these days I mostly carry this Olight just because I really find it neat. It's just such a neat format. I'm becoming used to this different shape of flashlights now, and I might start to migrate to these, but who knows. Honorable mention in this area. This is my Seeker 2. One of the things I do during the summer is I ride a one-wheel, one of those crazy one-wheel skateboard things. You can Google it. This thing has fallen on the ground dozens of times. It has flown out of my pockets. I've dropped it at like 15 plus miles an hour. It's got really scraped up. It's held up beautifully. It's never quit on me. Same with my Seeker 3. Just really neat honorable mention that I use a lot during the summer months. So moving on to the next category on our list, we have pens. So out of pens, I would say these are the three I've most carried over the last 10 years. This is a Spacepen telescoping version. It's just, little aluminum pen. When I get these with clips, with these like detachable clips, I tend to put a drip of super glue under them, which then locks them in place. That's the same thing on this. This is a Kaweco fountain pen. I also have a mechanical pencil around here that I'll sometimes carry. Both of these, I just really like the way they look, do a pretty nice job. I like the way they feel. In case you haven't been able to tell so far, I kind of like brass and copper. I kind of like the look of them. And then I have this Urban Survival Gear Urban Survival Gear pen. This is one of the older models that the owner put out, and now I know it's Smooth Precision pens. I'm excited to get my hands on some of those, but this has been a good pen, and I have a number of variants of it. Moving down the list, let's move into our honorable mentions categories. So here we go. So this is a Chicago Comb Factory comb. It's a carbon fiber comb. It has a little leather sheath that, while prepping for this review, I misplaced it. It's around here somewhere. I've carried this comb for a long time. Great little comb. I have a long version too, but here it is, and it's just a really good comb that I can throw into a pocket, super lightweight, and it goes with me anywhere, and I always have one. I have a number of other kind of EDC combs, but this is really the one that I use the most. Tape measures. On a prior recent video, I mentioned tape measures. I'm still seeking a perfect tape measure. This is currently my compromise. I have a tiny little metal one that I also sometimes carry, but I find it too bulky and heavy in a lot of cases. So I'll often have this one in my jacket pocket. Really, I found my real need for tape measures is having like 3 feet. As long as I can get a 3-foot long tape measure, I can pretty much measure anything I want. Another thing that I'll mention here is tile trackers. I have them on all my keychains. I thought about switching to the Apple trackers at one point, but I've had some off brands before, but I keep gravitating back toward Tile because I live between iOS, Apple devices, and Android. And because I live on both sides of the fence, Tile has really been what I end up using. Let's move on to another item. earplugs. I always have earplugs on my keychain. It's just been something that I've done for a lot of years, and I've really appreciated it whenever I went to rock concerts and other things. Whenever I was younger, I used to think to myself, the experience is, leaving and feeling half deaf. What I've realized is if you wear earplugs, you can hear the music better. And that's the key. It actually makes the concert sound better. And because of that, now I carry earplugs with me and always make sure I have them whenever I'm going to concerts. Lighters. I tend to carry a lighter on a day-to-day basis, but I used to carry Zippos, and I love the idea of Zippos, but I hate refilling them all the time. And, I have this love-hate relationship with Zippos. I know you can get the electronic refills now. I've thought about picking one up. I just haven't. I've had a number of butane lighters over the years, but ultimately, the regular old lighters just do the job. And so I just keep moving back to them. All summer I carry a lighter. Next one on my list of honorable mentions is SOG tools. This is kind of an odd model. They have the Powerlock models, which are kind of their classic multi-tools. I really wanted to be a convert to SOG. And when I'm traveling, I still carry one of these because they have a tool specifically that's TSA safe. That's still a full format multi-tool, but I don't carry them much anymore. I find my Leathermans to just be a better fit for my life. And I like carrying them a little bit more. This Q4 was one that I wanted to love. This is such a cool little tool. And ultimately, it's got a bit driver. It's got a set of pliers. I like innovation, and this felt like innovation. It was just too big. If this thing were smaller, and could fit into EDC pouches and things and not kind of poke me in my side or stick out of my pocket, I think I'd carry this thing. But ultimately, it's just too long. So now this one has a nice place in my truck console where it lives. Another honorable mention we'll bring up is pocket organizers. These are 2 by Hitch and Timber. I bought a lot of pocket organizers back in the day. I have a number of Amazon generic ones, but ultimately Hitch and Timber was the brand that I settled into and I most kind of moved back to. I know for a time, I think the business had kind of stopped shipping, but I think they're active again, checking the website. Great quality. They age well, they look nice, really enjoy them. So Hitch and Timber, these pocket organizers have always been kind of a favorite, even though these days I wear a Tail of Knives belt organizer. Speaking of that, we should go ahead and bring those out real quick. So we have this one here, and we have this one here. I did a review of this one. I'm going to do a review of this one. Now that I've worn this one more, I gotta say it's growing on me. I still like the color combination on this one, but pretty excited about this because I find it overall is a little more comfortable and it always stays on my belt due to the double belt clips rather than the single belt clip. Really neat. Loving Tail of Knives. Excited to take a look at more of their products. Moving on from there, we'll talk just a moment more. I've got the Prybar category here. I have this one, and I've also got this one from Teale Designs. And then I have the one that I've shown off on the channel a number of times, which is my first Prybar that I shaped out of a wrench. I think Prybars have a lasting spot in my pocket, but I think being able to use them as a bit driver is pretty dang nice. Really, really digging it. Excited to see where that goes. I think that's about it today. I think I've covered just about everything. So if you have any questions, post a comment. I'm interested to know what else would you like to see? Would you like deeper dives on anything? Like this video if you enjoyed it. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. Have a great day.